Is it true that your editors have ever asked you to like dial back the dirty talk at any point?
Yeah, like it was the first time I'd written a book, but I'd written a couple of like short stories before, and I'd always written like my mom might read it. And this is the first time I wrote where I was like, I don't care. And I just like went for it with the dirty talk because it's my favorite part of a romance novel. I love it. And my editor was like, you're never going to top this.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Off the Shelf. Today I'm sitting down with the queen of spicy rom-coms. She wrote It Happened One Summer and the most recently Picture Perfect, Tessa Bailey. Welcome to Off the Shelf.
Hi, thank you for having me.
You have written a lot of books. I tried to find the exact number. Do you know the exact number of books you've written?
I don't know the exact number, but somebody last year told me it's 66.
Holy.
Including novellas and like short stories. And I stopped and I like haven't added to that. So if that was true, then it should be like 69 by now.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Now, how long does it actually like take you to write a book start to finish?
So usually it'll take me 2 months to get a first draft. But that's when the hard part starts. Like the easiest part is writing the first draft. For me, that's like the joy is like just starting with a fresh screen and kind of taking the characters to their happily ever after and kind of feeling that satisfaction. But then you need to start revising it because the magic actually does happen in the second round when you've had eyes on the paper and you've had input on it and you have to kind of go, oh yeah, that would make it better. I do have to put in some work on this. And you always want to put out the absolute best version of the story. So you kind of have to go in and do surgery on your book in the second round. So when you include that and then you put in the copy editing rounds and all that, it's like 4 months to like make a whole book.
Got it.
Yeah.
What is like that magic? Like what flows out of you in that first draft? And then what do you often like have to go in and change afterwards?
The thing that usually for me, I'm having to go in and is the motivation of the characters and like what's driving them, like what made them have these hangups, what happened in their past, and like how do I sort of explain that to the reader in a way that's really relatable and makes that trauma feel all the more real. So it really comes down to like in that first draft, I'm really meeting my character along with the reader. And it doesn't matter how much research I do like into who I think the character is before I start writing. And like I might think I know them inside and out, but once they're on the paper, they're who they want to be and they're different than I was imagining. So a lot of times their motivation and what's driving them and their backstory does need to just be kind of like really embellished and strengthened in the second round.
So is the chemistry easy for you to write then? Because it comes across so natural on the page. Is that kind of written in that first draft or is it something that you're tweaking?
The chemistry is always solid in the first draft. To me, like I can't, if the chemistry isn't there, I'm like stuck.
Okay.
And I can't really move forward and it doesn't flow. And I know something is wrong and I have to go back and change something about their dynamic. Something about their dynamic isn't working. It's not turning me on. It's not turning them on. And it needs to be fixed. So usually that's when I will like kind of stop and go, let me start over or let me go back and like reread this and see what I'm doing, where I went wrong. Usually in the second draft, the chemistry has been fixed by then. Like if it needs to be. I mean, most of the time, that's the one thing I'm good at in the first draft is like that sexy connection, that like attraction between the characters is always pretty solid. Yeah.
What does your writing, you've written a lot of books. What does your writing process look like now? Like, are you writing at home? Are you going to a coffee shop? Where are you best inspired?
It literally hasn't changed from the very first book 13 years ago. I have not changed my process at all.
Okay.
I'm messy. I'm so messy. Like I sit down and I write out like I have like a piece of paper. I put a line down the middle and I write out like my character's traits on two sides. And I sit there and I like look at them and I'm like, how are these two going to be on the page together? Like, what is it that's keeping them from being together based on their backstories and where they want to go, their goals? And I kind of sit there and I like just mentally introduce myself to them as a couple. And then I try and loosely plot the book. Like I kind of come up with beats that I need to hit for the book to make sense, for the book to be satisfying, like depending on like what the tropes are. And then I start writing it and I throw it all out. And I just go on based on heart and sort of like where the characters take me. Like I'm really a pantser. I try to plot every single time and it just I never stick to the plan.
So are you writing chronologically or are you jumping all over the place?
Chronologically.
Chronologically, okay.
Yeah, I find if I try to jump around the things if I write something in advance, by the time I get there, so much has happened that I wasn't expecting that those things no longer make sense.
So we're at maybe 69 books now. Has your like motivation or your feelings towards writing, like how do you keep your writing fresh and how do you still enjoy writing as an author like 69 books in?
It's just like it feels completely brand new with every couple. Like each couple feels like it feels like something I haven't written before. And if it does, then that's another time where I'm like, I need to readjust. I need to go in and make sure I'm putting a unique spin on what these tropes are and what this story is and who these characters are. If it feels like it's something I've written before and I'm following a formula, then I have to change something. And no, this is what I love. I like ever since I was a kid, I would make up stories in my head and I would take it from page 1 to the end. And like I get to do that now, and like it's my escape, and I don't get sick of it.
Do you have like a favorite trope or a scene or just like a vibe that you've put in several of your books that you just love to do as an author?
Yeah, like I'm such a like sucker for opposites attract. Like you'll see in most of my books they're very opposite. Like, you know, a really regimented fisherman and a socialite, or, you know, like a really studious marine biology student and then this like single dad hockey player who's like on his last legs. And like I really like that because I think it's challenging to bring two completely different people to a common ground place. And I think the romance feels more satisfying when you can do that. But yeah, like I think Picture Perfect might have been one of my only recent books where they were almost too similar. Like the characters are so similar. They're both competitive. They're both type A. They're both athletes. And that was a challenge for me. But I love opposites attract. That's so fun. It's just like I'll always default to it.
Do you ever have like, and I know you said you're messy, but do you ever have like a formula or a recipe when it comes to opposites attract so that they're not like too far opposite?
Yeah. I think with opposites attract, it's like you have to have spots where they're like, I think like everybody has vulnerabilities. And I think that is not only the reader's entry point into like the story and the characters, but it's the characters' entry points into each other. And I think like weaknesses, vulnerabilities, like things that happened that they're holding on to, when they reveal those things to the other character, that's human. And it doesn't matter if they're different, they're human. And those like sort of like little scores in their armor are what like cause them to just sort of like find this common place, you know, like because everybody has them.
You've written like carpenters, mechanics, firefighters. Is there a job in a character that you haven't explored yet that you would love to write one day?
I mean, I think like I love writing blue collar, and I'm always attracted to like heroes that have like dangerous jobs, like you might have noticed. I'd love to write like a deep sea, like one of those deep sea, the North Sea is it North Sea TikTok?
Oh, I don't know.
What's the there's like this special corner of TikTok that just shows like this terrifying side of the ocean.
Okay.
North Sea TikTok, I think, is like the corner I'm talking, the dark, scary corner I'm talking about. But it's like underwater drilling, and it's like the most dangerous job like in the world. And I think like I would love to explore that a little bit, or just somebody who like basically just a minor.
Epic.
Who's just like works and comes out like covered in soot.
Wait, that's so like it reminds me of, have you ever seen Armageddon?
Yeah, when Ben Affleck is like soot, like dirty and sooty and sweaty.
Wait, I didn't even know that was Ben Affleck. Okay, yeah, totally write a book about that 100%, and I will
like
read.
I think they're called like roughnecks or something. Like
okay.
this like slangily, you know. And I'm like, that just alone is just enough for me. I mean, that's a series title right there.
Sold, done. Is there any jobs or tropes you will not write ever?
I mean, no, because if I've written a birthday party clown, like, I mean, it's almost like I was trying to drive people away from that book. I'm like, yeah, she's a clown. But no, I mean, if I'm willing to do that, I mean, I think I'm probably never going to write a politician.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I think mostly because like when I'm writing a book, like I'm like, I want to be in a fantasy land.
For sure.
Yeah. So I probably won't write a politician. And I won't write a male clown.
Yeah, that's fair.
I won't write a clown hero.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Yeah, is that okay with you?
That's okay.
You seem fine with it.
Yeah, I don't know, a male clown, I don't know what I'm picturing, like Cam from Modern Family is like the only male clown that I'm picturing right now, and I think we can move on from that.
He did it.
He did it. It's done.
Yeah, you can't follow that.
We'll take the female clown. Has TikTok changed the way you write? You've been a writer for so many years and you've written so many books. Has social media and like the trends on TikTok influenced your writing?
I wouldn't say they've changed my writing, but they have made me stop to consider things and like different avenues towards reaching a happily ever after. Like there was this kind of outcry about the third act breakup.
Oh, third act breakup. Yeah.
For a while there, people were talking about how they hate the third act breakup now. And I was like, I'll never give up the third act breakup. But then I found myself getting to that part of a book and going, what if they don't break up? And like it, so I think it did get in there, like into my subconscious and make me consider like, what if the hero just like doesn't allow this to happen? Mm-hmm. And he's like, no, we're not going to fight about this. And so I think it's nice to have like to be able to take in other people's opinions and not necessarily let them transform my writing, but just to help me go like, what if like, I think that's healthy. I
fell victim to, I hate the third act breakup, but it happens.
Yeah.
It's real. And I think that's why a lot of people don't like it. But I'm like, there is miscommunication. People misread texts. They like, someone put a period at the end of the sentence, they're mad. Like it happens in real life. And I think when we read it in fiction, we're like, like that happened to me. Like, I don't know. But I agree. Like there was a movement of that, but now I understand it a little bit more as I don't know, put myself in.
Yeah. And as soon as you get like used to not having a third act breakup, then you're going to want it back. You know,
that's the thing, because there's no peak at the end that if they just like stay together, in my opinion.
Yeah.
At least.
Or like maybe one of them thinks they broke up, but the other one's just been like going out to buy an engagement ring. Something like that. Like you can find a way around it.
Exactly.
To have a little bit of that angst without having like the full meltdown.
Exactly.
But it's just nice to have something to consider once in a while, like in the back of your head, just options.
Yeah, for sure. So Picture Perfect is your most recent release. Talk to us about this book. What is it about?
Picture Perfect is a softball player, a Division I softball player heroine, and a rookie hockey player. He's a rookie in the NHL. And they meet in sort of an unconventional way at a pickup baseball game in the park, you know, like it totally happens all the time. And basically he realized, so he's immediately attracted to her. He's like a womanizer. And she recognizes that right off the bat, like how he is, and hates him like on sight. But he slowly kind of realizes she's in love with somebody else. And he, in order to like stay around her and be in her orbit, he offers to like fake date her to sort of attract this other man. And you can kind of guess how it goes. But well, actually you can't, because they end up at a wilderness competition together, which I'm not even sure where that came from, in my corner of my brain that came from. But they end up competing in this competition that her family throws every year. And like the other guy is there competing as well. So there's this opportunity to like, you know, make him jealous. So there's forced proximity. There's only one bed. There's a lot going on. It's a lot of fun. I think it might be my funniest book, if nothing else. It's very funny.
It was a very fun. I got an arc of it and I was like, I am in heaven right now. Like, this is such a fun pick me up book. If someone has like read all of your books or majority of your books, how would you compare the spice in this book to your other books?
I think they're all really similar spice level. You know, like we were actually talking about it earlier. Like if five flames or chili peppers, whatever you want to call it, like is like basically the plot is sex.
Yeah.
Then I think I'd fall somewhere, you know, around like a 3.5 for spice. Like they do work for it. They do sort of know each other, and they've kind of had some growth as a potential relationship before they go to bed together. But once they get there, like they burn it up, you know? So yeah, I think it's similar to all the others in the stack. Like I really, you know, I wouldn't say one of them is hotter than the other necessarily.
Now, is it true that your editors have ever asked you to like dial back the dirty talk at any point?
Yeah, like this is so funny. I don't think I've ever even talked about this. So like my very first book that came out in like 2000, I think 13 or something, called Protecting What's His. So like I just went for it with the dirty talk. It was the first time I wrote a book it was the first time I'd written a book, period. But I'd written a couple of like short stories before, and I'd always written like my mom might read it. And this is the first time I wrote where I was like, I don't care. Mom, read it. And I just like went for it with the dirty talk because it's my favorite part of a romance novel. I love it. And my editor was like, you're never going to top this. She's like, you might as well stop now with the dirty talk because like you got it all out in this one book. And I was like, okay.
Whoa.
So yeah, like, so 69 books later, and I'm like, I'm still trying to top myself. It's my favorite part of a romance novel. And like when I was a kid and I would go into like Borders and Barnes and Noble and these stores, like I would flip to the sex scenes and I would read the talk. I would want to read what the hero had to say because it was like something about the no filter, the fact that she doesn't have to try to read his mind. He's being very open about it and transparent about it in those moments. Like I find that really attractive and sexy. So I'm never going to let go of the dirty talk. I'll take it to the grave. And yeah. So isn't that weird? Yeah. And I was kind of like in the back of my head, I was going, yeah, she's probably right. But then I started writing the next book and I was like, it just was there. And it's like, it's objectification in some ways, but like both parties are enthusiastically consenting.
Exactly. Yeah.
And like she's enjoying it. Being objectified a little bit. And I think there's something about being objectified for me that like, it's like, oh, I don't have to be like a wife and a daughter and a mother and a coworker and all these different things right now. I'm just this like vessel for pleasure. And that's, I think that's why the scenes are so sensual. Yeah.
Talk to me about this first book, Protecting What's His. Right?
Yeah.
Why did you decide to finally publish that one? Because you had said you had written some other things that your mom could potentially read, but why was this your first published novel?
I mean, so basically it was the first one. So I'd been a stay-at-home mom for like 2 years, I think at that point. And then my husband, his bar got flooded by a hurricane. He was a bartender. And so he was home and I was like, you are the stay-at-home mom now. And I felt like I was dying to just do something creative. And I locked myself in a room with my two-year-old on the other side of the door. And I wrote a book. And I sent it through an electronic submission form to Entangled Publishing. And like, I found out much later that like the editor just kind of grabbed it out of a slush pile by fate. I don't think it would have ever gotten seen otherwise. So it was a little bit of luck that played into it as well. And it's just like timing, weather, right. A lot of different factors. So I mean, like any one of those things could have led to me not being published.
At that point, so that was the first book. did you have a plan for anything else? Were you like, I'm just going to do one book and see where it goes? Or I'm going to do one book and I'm going to plan the rest?
I had no plan.
Okay.
And then once I found out that I was going to be published, and then I had a really good response to that first book, I was like, they were like, we want more of this. So I ended up building a series around that first book.
More of the dirty talk.
Yeah, it was just, and so, yeah, and then like that, I think that went on for 6 books, and then I had to come up with a new plan. Right. But like, yeah, no, it's this whole career has been, I've been flying by the seat of my pants. But I think that's part of the fun.
Yeah,
it's like I really write for like what is inspiring me.
For sure.
If
you hadn't written that first book and it didn't get published, what do you think you'd be doing now?
I always say that I would go back to school to become a diabetic educator. My daughter is a type 1 diabetic. Okay. And if I ever stop writing, I'll go back to school and become a diabetic educator to help families sort of navigate the first days of a loved one being diagnosed, because it's like very intense and there's a lot to learn in a very short space of time. And like I can recall every moment of that and my diabetic educator walking me through those things. So I would 100% do that. I think it'd be fulfilling. Yeah.
Have you or will you ever include that in any of your books?
Yeah, Fangirl Down has a diabetic heroine.
Wow.
And it's not my first, but it's my first full-length character, full-length book with a character with type 1 diabetes.
And then what was that process like? Did you find it comforting to use your own personal experiences in the book?
It was so familiar. And like, I really wanted to do it justice. So I think there was a little bit of that pressure of like, I just want to make sure I get this 100% right. Because I know how important it is to the diabetics that are going to read the book. And thankfully, I have so many diabetics come up to me at signings and kind of say like, you did it. Like, it's good. You got all the details right. I mean, and also I hope that's the first one my daughter reads one day, you know? And so I just wanted to like represent like not just the disease, but like the, sort of like the mental struggle, you know, like I'll never know 100% what that's like, but like I wanted to do it well enough for her, like, you know, just on her behalf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you will let your daughter read your books?
I would let her read them right now.
Okay.
Oh, absolutely.
Has she yet or no?
No, but she has some friends who like, so I was at her volleyball game the other day and like a couple of the girls she was playing against were like, so like I like ended up posing for pictures with the opposing team and getting their address so I could send them signed books and stuff. And I was like, oh, these girls her age are reading my books. And I think it's healthy. I mean, I started reading romance when I was 13. I'd much rather if we're talking about the intimacy part of it, like I'd much rather my daughter learn about intimacy from a romance novel than like a boy in her class.
Absolutely.
Or like pornography or something like that, because this is all about,
it's safe.
It's centered around the woman's pleasure. And I think that's healthy and it's a good thing to like establish as important, you know? So as soon as she's ready, like I'm like, go.
Which one would you tell her to read first?
A Fangirl Down, probably.
Okay.
Actually, in the dedication, I'm pretty sure it says, I hope this is the first one you read, but please skip the butt stuff.
No, you use a lot of like your personal experiences in that one. Have you ever had to like do any other research for your books? I know these men are like working these blue collar jobs, but like, did you have to do any research for Picture Perfect?
I had to do a lot of research on like the mechanics of softball pitching. It's more complicated than it looks. I mean, it's like, it's an underhand thing and it's like,
I played softball for 6 years. I never pitched once. It was not, I was in the field. No one wanted me close to anything.
I never tried it myself, but like I overhand pitch. I actually threw out the first pitch at a Miami Marlins game like a month ago.
Epic. Okay.
So I had to go and like practice my pitch.
And how did it go? Like the actual pitch?
Fine, because like, so I'm picturing myself like on the mound having to throw like all the way to the home base, the first plate. Oh my God. I write baseball books. All the way to like the catcher, like at home plate. I was picturing the whole distance. Meanwhile, I get there. They're like, they position me like 10 feet in front of the mound. A mascot comes out with a 10-foot like glove, so I can't miss it. And I'm like, why did I practice for 5 days for this?
Right.
So it went fine.
Oh my God. Well, yeah, because
I couldn't have messed that up if I tried.
it is normally like the 60 feet or something, which I don't even like. It's far.
It's far.
It's far. Okay, so you have to do the mechanics of the softball pitching.
Yeah.
Where are you pulling research from? Like, are you watching softball games? Are you on Google?
So usually I go straight to YouTube, and there's just endless tutorials from softball coaches or players talking about the drills they use to, you know, strengthen these movements, to like sharpen these movements, just the mechanics of it in general and technique. So I think I learn a lot through YouTube. And then I try and watch as many games as I can.
Yeah.
To just sort of not just watch them play and learn the rules, but to like listen to how the commentators talk about the sport and like the terminologies they use, that to make it more realistic, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the book, she also talks about how like pitching is kind of like baseball is like this team sport, but pitching is a solitary thing. Where did you pull that from? Because that was interesting. Like I played softball for so long, but I guess I never thought about the pitcher like kind of feeling alone in the game sometimes.
Yeah. I think that was more like a artistic license where I was like, this is how I need her to feel.
Got it. Okay.
But also I think that would be accurate. I mean, because no one else is responsible for that part of the game on your team but you.
Yeah.
And you are like kind of practicing an entirely different skill set than everybody on the field. So I that's kind of what I imagine it would feel like. I kind of had to put myself in her cleats, if you will. and that's how I thought it would feel. Yeah.
Did you have a favorite scene or moment to write in this book?
Yeah. There was a scene, and it's funny, a couple of people have mentioned this to me, where they're just happy for like a couple of chapters. Like,
they're not like pretending or anything.
They're not pretending. Like they've decided they're going to like, they're like, I think we like each other, and like, I think this is happening. And so they go on like a date, and it's like, they're just happy for like the entire day. And they go to like they go to lunch, they get sandwiches, they go to the park, they end up playing softball or baseball with kids in the park, and she pitches to them. And it's like, it's just like a happy moment, and like the plot doesn't even develop at all, but it's just so like pleasing.
Yeah.
And the vibes were there. So I think I'm gonna do that more often.
Mm-hmm.
Just like let them be happy for a while.
Very like
before
mundane
I
moments.
drop the hammer.
Now knowing that like when you're starting the book, you like put a line down and you add the character traits. What were some of the first character traits that you knew you wanted these characters to have?
I wanted Skylar to be a planner, because I wanted her to need things to go a certain way, and I needed him to understand that about her. I think that's really where I wanted to go with that. But also the fact that they were fake dating and he was kind of give her spicy lessons, kind of like, I was like, I would love that to be like a scheduled thing, and there's no way he's going to do that.
Yeah. That's fair.
Like, so it needs to land on her, and kind of like just little thoughts like that are what help kind of start to fashion a character.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily, it's just like, oh, that's a thought. Maybe she's just like really into planning and really just, and she would be, because she's a type A Division I athlete. Like, you would be very meticulous, you would be organized, you would be driven, especially if she's going to Boston College.
Yeah.
So that's how I imagined her. And for Robbie, I was like, human Garfield. You know, like, he likes lasagna, he likes his belly scratched, he's just like a big kind of like jungle cat of a man. Like, he's just like in sweatpants and comfy, and like just so comfortable in his own skin, and comfortable like saying exactly what's on his mind. And I just love the way he defends her to her family, the way he speaks up for her when she can't. Those are things I really liked about him, that I was like, I would like him to be that character.
The scene I think it's near-ish the end, and I don't want to spoil it because I loved reading it, but with the t-shirts.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I really like you now. Like, I mean, obviously I did before, but I was like, that was such like a small moment, such a small thing for him to do for her, to show the family that. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, that moment, it's like a character growth, like proof of character growth. Like, he's now thinking about other people instead of himself.
Yeah.
He's putting somebody ahead of himself, and I think that's like, that was a huge moment to show that he's changed on the page.
Yes. Yeah. Changed from the like man whore.
Yeah.
we all know him as.
Right.
I read your author bio, and I think on the majority of your books, you're really good at solving other people's problems and not your own. So I have some stories submitted by our listeners of problems they are having.
Real problems?
Real problems.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
This is so fun.
Okay. And like, again, like some of these I don't see as problems, but I know people are, they're like love life chaotic moments and things like that. With the first one being, I'm 25 and I've never had a boyfriend.
Okay.
That is all we got.
That's the problem?
Yeah.
I mean, I have so many follow-up questions.
I know.
It's like, it sounds like, do you think she wants a boyfriend?
I would assume so. Yeah. I think right now people are struggling with the fact that like maybe they're 25, haven't had a first kiss, haven't had a boyfriend.
Yeah.
They're like, I feel like I should be, is what I hear a lot, like even in my circle.
Yeah, it seems like the world drastically changed in 2020, and we've never kind of gone back to how it was. And I do see a lot of people struggling with that. And I also think that these books are making us very antisocial. And, you know, like maybe and like we have raised our standards with these books. So there is that too. And I think that's a healthy thing. I think having high standards is very healthy, and there's nothing I would change about that. But yeah, I mean, it's like, I do see a lot of people saying, where do I go to meet somebody? Like, how do I meet somebody? Like, it's so hard. It's so hard to meet people and form a realistic connection. And I don't really know. I don't know like what the answer to that is, except I always tell my daughter, like when she's feeling lost and she doesn't know like what to do in a situation, I always say, focus on yourself. Mm-hmm. Like follow, like, what do you want? Like, what's something about yourself that you would like to improve, like, and go out and do it, or go and have your own experiences. Mm-hmm. And when you stop thinking about it so much and you're like focusing on satisfying yourself and your goals, something will happen along the way.
Yeah.
I really feel that like, it's like a watched pot never boils, or, so yeah, that's always my advice to my friend, my daughter and her friends. I'm always like, if you feel like you're like scattered and lost and you don't know what to do, and you're like trying to satisfy too many people at once, just focus back on yourself and figure out what you need to be happy. Do that, and when you're focusing on that, then
just go and live your life.
The external stuff comes along eventually.
Yeah. I mean, nothing wrong with not having a boyfriend at 25.
Definitely not. No.
Like just go and
my first thought when she said that was like, congratulations.
Yeah. You're living life. You're
Can
good.
we change spot? Can we change places?
But I think you're right. Like, go out, like, don't wait around. Just like go and live your life. And it might happen, it might not, but just, you don't know. But like, go and experience your own life how you want to do it. And
don't wait.
Yeah.
Don't wait for that piece to start filling in the other pieces.
Yeah. And also don't be afraid to like make the first move. I know like there's a stereotypical thing about like men needing to like text you first or call you first or like whatever. And you see someone who's cute, like at the bookstore, at the coffee shop, go like, hey, like.
Yeah. No, they absolutely they need to be told what to do.
Just be like, hey, like, you read that book? Hey, like, what did you like? And if they say nothing, then you didn't lose anything and you can move on.
Yeah.
Is what I think.
No, I agree with that too.
So,
okay. Be bold.
Absolutely. Our next one is, my friend keeps canceling plans because she's busy, but posts hanging out with other friends. What should I do?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like this is just this is an example of if they wanted to, they would, you know? That's, first of all, that sucks. I'm sorry to hear that. social media can be really horrible for
horrible.
that reason. Like seeing your friends hanging out without you. But what I would say to her, you're not alone. Everybody's having this happen to them or has had this happen to them. And it probably feels like it's just happening to you, but it's not. And you're definitely not alone in this. I would say, again, maybe focus on yourself, or maybe focus on something that's totally separate than your friends. Like throw yourself into something that is totally separate from your friends that can be just yours, and find some joy in that. But like, I mean, if they're saying they're busy and they're hanging out and not inviting you,
Yeah, it's tough. And I think
maybe be honest with them and ask them why they're doing it, and then go from there.
Yeah, I would say, like, say something about it.
Yeah,
don't just like
communicate.
don't communicate, and do it once and say like, hey, what's up? You said you were busy and then I see you hanging out. Just like tell me straight up.
Yeah.
And if they don't give a good answer, if they're like dodging around the bullet, then you have your answer. And it sucks. A friendship breakup sucks so much.
It does.
Like almost more than a guy
It's
sometimes.
True. Is it oh gosh, now Elise Myers, who says like she has this, like, I think it's the very first TikTok I ever saw from her, and it was like back in 2020, where she said no one is mad at you.
Yeah.
She said no one is mad at you. She said if someone is mad at you, then that's a them problem, and if they're worth having in your life, then they will come to you and talk to you about it. And if they aren't doing that, then they're not worth having in your life. And I was like, that makes so much sense to me. So I guess I would say, like, you're the one that's worth having in their life. So go talk to them.
Yeah.
And if they give you their response is gonna define how you handle it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But don't keep chasing after them.
No.
I would say, like, just let it go, and because no one deserves that. And then mute their stories or whatever is what I would do.
Yes.
Move on.
Mute
it. Muting
so
is
powerful.
a powerful feature on social media that I have come to love.
People do not use it enough.
Yeah, because I mean, like, blocking and unfollowing, I mean, it's totally fine, and I've also done that, but then they can know, and then you're giving them this power back of, like, they know that they are impacting you. Muting, beautiful thing. They have no idea.
Muting is anonymous. Nobody knows but you.
Yeah. You can mute stories and posts and notes on Instagram now. Like, it's beautiful.
It's great. Yeah.
Okay, next one. What should I do if I got my dream job but realized it wasn't what I wanted?
Oh. I mean, relatable. Like, I mean, not that this dream job isn't something but it's never exactly your dream. It's hard. It's going to be hard. But anything worthwhile is worth working hard for. So might be your dream job, but it might just be harder than you were expecting. But if the reward is there and it's gratifying and it's satisfying you, like, I think that's what dream jobs are. They're hard, but they have rewards.
They are. And I think, I don't know what stage of it is, but like a new environment, a new job, like, you're not going to feel comfortable right away. It's going
it could
to
be
take
like,
time.
all right, it might not feel like your dream job for 10 years. Yeah, things don't feel great overnight. I mean, it's like, like I said, I published my first book in 2013, and I was just kind of tootling along until it happened one summer. I was kind of happy, going a decade just being mid-list, not hitting lists at all, not even, having like a small audience. And then I had this book that everybody read. And like now it feels like this surreal place of like, I'd found it, like the dream has been realized, but it took 10 years.
Yeah, it takes time.
And I still was getting joy out of it that whole time, but it was much less reward and much harder work.
A lot of time and energy can go into something before you're like,
Yeah.
And again, you might never reach the point where you're like, oh, like no one's ever like, I am absolutely in love with my job right now.
Yeah.
Because it takes
not on day one.
No,
it takes some work to get there, and it's going to be all the more satisfying for having worked hard
exactly.
for it. Yeah.
Okay, last one.
Okay.
My ex keeps liking my stories. What do I do?
Wait, am I writing this?
This can't be fixed with a mute.
See, it's like another thing where I'm like, I have so many follow-up questions because, like, is this a bad ex? Like, you know, like, are you like a scary ex? If it's an ex that you legitimately want out of your life, then block, and you know, block them everywhere and move on. If it's an ex that you can't stop thinking about, well, I don't know. Again, communication is key. If it's healthy to communicate with this person, then ask them why. What are you doing?
Yeah. If you're getting like butterflies when they like their story, we might have to revisit.
Are you posting stories just so they'll like them? Well, maybe explore that.
We need some follow-up questions.
Yeah,
you come back on and we'll get some updates from people. And
I'm gonna need a follow-up on that one.
The issue, I put a sticker or a question box, so they had like.
Can they storyboard the whole relationship and let?
I know. Can we just like hop on a call? They come guest on the pod.
Yes.
No,
yes.
They had like I think like 30 characters to give a chaotic
so it's really brief. Yeah.
I agree with you.
Like I said, like, if this is a bad ex, if he falls into the bad ex category, then block. Don't let him stay in your life like that easily. Yeah. You know?
Agreed. Because again, social media, it's so easy to know what people are up to these days. You got to protect your peace.
If he's like an ex that like didn't put in enough effort in your relationship, guess what? He's still not putting in that much effort. It doesn't take that much to click a like button. So don't let him get in with that. If that's the case, that's all I'll say.
Agreed.
You know
Absolutely.
what I mean?
Those are all the problems.
You don't get to like come back on in because you clicked a thumb.
Yeah.
You know,
little heart.
But he's still thinking about you, and like maybe he doesn't know how to approach you. Then give it a whirl.
We'll see how it goes. Okay, those are all the problems.
Okay, I hope we solved all those problems.
I really hope so too.
Yeah.
I want to talk about It Happened One Summer.
Okay.
What can you tell us about the adaptation?
So recently we announced that that Nina Dobrev had been cast as Piper and Tyler Hoechlin had been cast as Brendan, and Jenny Gardner had been cast as Hannah. And that's the last I have heard. And it's like the film industry moves in a very mysterious way that I don't understand. And they are like telling me that it's going to start filming soon. And I just like pretend like I didn't hear it because I am so like, I'm such a pessimist that I'm like, it could fall apart at the very last second. And so I just want to pretend like it's not happening. And if it happens, then I will be extremely happy. And if it doesn't, then I'll just keep working. So I just basically focus on the story I'm writing, and it becomes my obsession, and I don't think of anything else. But incidentally, I am writing the third book in that series right now. So in the Bellinger Sisters series. Mm-hmm. So I am actively writing Piper and Hannah and Brendan and Fox, which feels very like a breath of like familiar air. And so I really hope that the movie gets filmed and everybody gets to see it, because I think it's just like a little slice of magic, that series. And everybody kind of has these beloved characters that they want to see on screen, and I do too. Mm-hmm. So as far as I know, it's happening and it's really exciting. And there's like a director attached, and there's, you know, like a production company attached and all these things. And I'm just sitting waiting for them to say, come to set.
What was your reaction to the casting?
Like shock. Like I was like, but I know her.
Yeah. I'm like, Vampire Diaries? I'm like, okay, epic.
Yeah. I kind of was like, I always expected it to be like somebody that maybe was like up and coming, or like someone that was unknown to me. But I was like, I follow her. That can't be right. And then she like posted a picture of herself with the book on Instagram, and I was like, life is so weird, you know? Like I never could have predicted that. And he's so hot. And he like passed on like a message like to me through the movie agent. He was like, just let her know I understand the assignment with Brendan. Like, I know I got to be like a, you know, like a masculine, gruff,
heck
like,
yeah,
you know, guy, and like a guy's guy. He's like, I get it. So I was like, that made me feel great. I was just kind of like, blown away that it's two people that I've watched on TV since I was like in high school.
I know.
So thrilled. Yeah.
If you could have one scene from the book that you would love to see adapted, which one would it be?
I mean, like, I think the scene where Piper believes that, no, I mean, probably the last ending scene, because that scene sticks out in my head. But I think, you know, like where he goes to LA to get her back. But the scene where she thinks that he's gotten her out on the boat, and she like drives in like her pajamas to the hospital, and then she sees him and he realizes that she's like been worried about him, and she realizes he's alive, and that's like the moment that they're like, we're together. They obviously do it in a hotel, in a hospital room. quite vigorously.
Want to see that. Yeah,
I would like to see that.
So you recently announced that we have a third book coming in the series. Was that always your plan?
No.
At what point were you like, I'm going to write a third book then?
So like, I like have been talking about it with people in my life for a couple of years, and like kind of coming up with ideas for fun. Like, what if I did this though? Like, and what if I wrote this, and what if they had the long lost sister, or what if this happens? And kind of coming up with ideas, and none of them ever like landed. Like, none of them ever felt like this is worth reopening the series for. But I recently had an idea that made me go that like, oh, like I want to write that. Like, I feel like I could write that with like, and feel a passion for that idea and that story and those characters. So I am writing one. I'm writing it now, and I think the working title is Catch and Release, and it's a second chance romance. It's about a woman who used to spend all of her summers in Westport. And like from the age of 15 to 22, she was coming to Westport every summer, and she makes friends with these 4 boys, and they become her best friends. And she calls them the Strays. And like she's a fisherwoman. Like, she goes out on the boat with them, and she learns the ropes. She learns how to fish. And they're her best friends. And then, but one of them is she's in love with one of them, and he loves her back, but he doesn't know how to say it or express it in any way because of his past. And so when she turns 22, she's like, ask me to stay, and I'll stay. And he can't do it, and she leaves. So now it's years later. She's coming back to Westport for the first time, and like, you know.
All right. Do we have any sort of like working release date or month?
It'll be like early 2027.
Oh my gosh, that far away?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know.
I thought you were going to say 2026.
No, I have 2 books before then.
Okay, so what's coming next year then?
Okay. So the final book in the Big Shot series will be in January. It's called Catcher If You Can. It's a professional baseball catcher and a burlesque club owner.
Love it. Okay.
And you met them in Picture Perfect. And then I have a time travel romance coming out at the end of next year.
Wait, I didn't know this.
Yeah, I think we're calling it Broken Rival, and it's a completely different genre switch for me. Like,
why time travel? Why was that like the next pivot?
it's just like an idea that I had to write. I had to put on paper, and it started off with this idea of, okay, we have this high school golden couple. They love each other. Like, everybody in town loves these two. One day there's a fire. He runs into the fire and doesn't come out. She becomes obsessed with inventing time travel. And like, she isolates herself. The town starts to like write her off as a weirdo because she's trying to invent time travel. And the only person that comes to visit her is the brother of her dead boyfriend.
Got it. Okay.
That was the idea. And then I sat down to write that, and it just took on this huge life. Like, the world became so big that I was like, oh, this is not just like a little town story. This is like a world story. And it just became really big. And I was telling my editor about it, and she was like, it sounds like you're writing a whole different genre now. Like, you're writing like almost dystopian. and I just went for it.
Wow, that sounds so good.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for that.
Yeah.
How did you know it was time for a time travel?
I sat down to write like another book in the Big Shot series. Like I did originally have one more book planned, and I sat down to write it, and I was like, I just like don't feel inspired to write another sports romance.
Yeah.
Right now. Maybe in a year I will be, and I'll come back to that and I'll go, that story needs to be written, and I'll feel it. I probably will. But like at that moment I was like, I just am being pulled in a different direction, and I just have to like get it all out. And like if I don't do that, then what I write feels lackluster. So I just have to go where the inspiration is. So, and thankfully I have an editor and a publisher that is like, green light, go. Do it. Do whatever inspires you.
So what are you working on over the next couple, like what are you working on the rest of the year?
I mean, I don't know.
What are you writing?
So I'm writing the third book in the Bellinger Sisters,
Yeah.
which is for early 2027. And after that, I don't know. Like, I don't know what I'm supposed to write after that, because we're like wondering if I'm going to write a sequel to the time travel book I told you about. But we like want to see what the response is to it. Cause like people might like, I don't know if people even want that from me. Like,
Okay, well, I want that. And I don't know if I speak for all readers when I say that, but that's because it's unique. It's so unique, and we all love your
thank
writing
you.
already.
I'm hoping everybody just like trust me on it. Cause like, I don't want to oversell it, but I'll just say, trust me. It's like, and it's also, it's got all the same heat. Maybe even more heat than my contemporaries. So that's there. It's not going anywhere. There's dirty talk, even in time travel books. But like, it's, I don't know, like, do I write the sequel to that, or do I move on to something else? So we're basically just it's a wait and see game.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, we can't wait. I have one thing for you. A little gift
Ooh.
before I let you go.
Oh my gosh. I'm so excited. Tissue paper.
A lot of tissue
Oh. Oh, a Canadian Kit Kat. They're so much better. They're in a whole different factory than American Kit Kats.
Oh, I didn't. Okay, so I've always noticed a difference when I go to the States. I'm like, what is this garbage?
Everybody says that.
No,
I
but
know.
I've said that to Americans, and like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. I was like, I'm going to bring you a Canadian Kit Kat, and you're going to taste the difference immediately.
There is a huge difference. I went home when I said that on social media, like, please somebody bring me a Kit Kat.
Yeah.
Everybody brought me a Kit Kat, but not just one. They brought me like the 20 pack.
Oh, of course.
So I ended up going home. I had a whole suitcase full of Kit Kats. It took us like a year to eat them.
Customs is like, what do you have to declare? A bunch of Kit Kats.
Kit Kats, obviously. No, these are superior. Sorry, everybody, but yeah, and like my husband's from Ireland, and like their chocolate is better than ours. I'm like, what? Like, what's going on with
what's
going on? Why are we being sold a lie?
Well, I hope you enjoy those. I hope you enjoy your event tonight. Thank you so much for coming on and chatting with me.
This is a pleasure.
Oh my God.
Thank you very
We
much.
met in New York a couple of years ago, so it's nice to finally catch up. And yeah, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you. Thank you for having
Amazing.
me.
And thank you guys so much for listening to Off the Shelf, and we will see you next Thursday.